Okay, it's Christina Merkley, and I'm here with Carey. And we've had a very short conversation, just kind of logistics getting set up here, and you emailed into me, so I have a little bit of a sense of subject. So maybe we'll just take it from there. And like I said before we hit the record, I'll just kind of find where I think the entry point would be from a process point of view. I know you're familiar with the orphan rescue. That may be a way to go into it, or if there's another way I'm thinking of, or something else might happen. So
I'm aware of orphan rescue. I wouldn't say I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Yeah. You know the name. You've heard the name. Great. Tell me a bit context-wise.
Okay, so there's a woman who I have been friends with for about the past 8 years or so. She also happens to be a neighbor who lives just upstairs from me in my apartment building. I considered her a really close friend. We had a weird hiccup happen in our friendship back in like mid-February-ish. And then I sort of thought, oh, she maybe needs some space. I'll just leave the ball in her court for a while. And then I reached out maybe about a month later and was just like, hey, movie night or something. And I didn't hear back from her. And then pandemic started and shutdown started. And I actually forwarded an email with the resources for like free yoga classes and stuff like that, which I thought, she might be into. And she wrote back a sort of curt, formal email. It wasn't impolite, but it was just it wasn't friendly, really either. And I just sort of saying like, oh, thank you for sending that. I'm leaving town, what's going on with you and pandemic or something. And I just said, well, I'm just working from home. And I said, by the way, I did reach out to you a couple of weeks ago. I hope you got the message, And she said, oh yeah, I guess I did. But I wasn't really satisfied with our last interaction. So why would I want to hang out with you? And I, yeah. And I wrote back and I was like, wow, well, I wasn't satisfied with it either, but I sort of felt like, I didn't want to leave it at that. Like I wanted to find a way. And so I had reached out and I said, how did you, like, I'm curious, like, how did you expect it to move from there? What did you think should happen next? And she wrote back and said, I was going to let this relationship quietly slide into oblivion. Mm-hmm. I'm just not really that interested in this. And she wrote, you're a good and kind person, but just not my kind of person. Nothing personal, just not into confrontation. Let's just return each other's keys and be done with it. Because we had keys to each other's apartments. We would take care of each other's plants and pets and things like that. And so, yeah, so that was that. And I did, I was shocked kind of at that. And I since she had said she was leaving town the next day, I left a card outside of her door that just said, I don't know how it got this messed up. Like, we don't need to go back and forth about it. We've been friends for 8 years. Like, that's just, but I never heard back from her. And she's back in town now. And we're in this, we have lots of friends in common, and we're in like a Zoom room that meets twice a week to do like energy healing and stuff. And I had to just drop out of the group because, she comes onto the call and she says hello to everybody except for me. Like she blatantly ignores me. Mm-hmm. And I've worked with it so many ways, and I don't want to let that, like, I don't want to let the fact that happened, like, keep me from enjoying something in my life that was special to me. But I finally the other day just had to give up and go like, I'm losing this battle with trying to overcome how much this hurts. Like, I just, yeah.
I'm sorry. I've had something similar happen recently myself. So it's kind of a law of attraction thing that's happening and coming here. I still have the two different things happening process-wise. So I think I'm going to start with one, and maybe the other may show itself. So, and the first one is, I just want to start with inquiry, which is meeting what is, right? Which is, I can feel the different emotions. So we'll see which one shows as you focus, but there's pain. So, let's meet the pain and see what unfolds. that whole approach is really your own wisdom, your own consciousness unfolds step by step, and there's layers to this. So we'll just see as we meet it, and you welcome it, and then see what unfolds from there. So, and it's always, I never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of doing this work, is it's your consciousness, right? And consciousnesses are connected at a larger level. So that's why it's wonderful to do this work where you're being generous in it being recorded, because other people will have parallel processing to similar things, you know, myself included right now. So it's kind of freaky. So doing the consciousness work helps us all. And we'll see if it points its way, your consciousness, to some other ways to work with the hurt and to figure out action, right? The left brain and the right brain side of it. So we'll just see what happens. But I think the places to start is with inquiry. So I'm just going to move my desk around and bring up my drawing tablet. And I'll share my screen in a second here. I'm at home, so I have my smaller drawing tablet, which has less room than my other one. So that's my way of trying to manage expectations.
Okay. Duly noted.
Yeah, so I'll do my best on the little small one, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Let me stick my glasses on so I can see. Okay, so let's just take a couple of deep breaths. And I'm just going to poke around this and evoke it a little bit more. And so we'll see which part gets evoked. But you just told me the poignant, confusing, bewildering, those would be kind of my words, where this hit you somewhat out of left field, right? And the intensity of it and what it jumped to was shocking. So as you just meet that, just kind of center in. You can close eyes, you can stare off in the distance, do whatever you do to get in touch with what's going on inside of you, and just see what shows itself. It might be a thought, it might be a sensation, it might be an emotion, whatever the heck it is, we're just going to welcome that.
I mean, I definitely feel hurt and kind of like, you know, like the rug got pulled out from under me or something. And there's also anger. There's also like, that wasn't fair. You know, you didn't leave me. I didn't do anything wrong, and you're not leaving me any way to try to make it better. Like, you just took it away. And then of course there's the voice that's like, well, what did I do wrong? Did I push too hard? Did I want it too much? Did I care too much? Why do I care about her more than she cares about me? What's wrong with me?
Slow down. Okay, want too much, care too much. And then you go to what's wrong. I'm just doing my best to keep up. What's wrong with it? Okay.
I think like
I'll say beautiful, even when it's not seemingly beautiful stuff, but the fact that you're able to register it and have it come out rapid fire like this. I'm just going to slow it down a tad.
Okay.
And we're just going to go back to the beginning. And the whole thing with this, good. Deep breath, good. The whole thing with this is to just meet what comes out. So, and the rapid fire of what happened, we're just going to like, thank you, all of that. You are welcome here. Right? Because we'll try to like logically, it's like that, the feelings come up. In fact, I think that's what happened here, which first came the feelings, which sometimes is the heart. So we'll see. It might be some other aspect of yourself, but And then the brain comes in and starts to analyze it, right? The mind. So we just want to thank all of those aspects of self. So let's go to the first one. That rug being pulled out from you, that physical sensation of yank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the shock to that. And then hurt and angry. And then the analysis and the words start to come in, like, this isn't fair, and I didn't do anything wrong, and hey, you took it away, like there's no way for me to dialogue and sort this out. And then the self-reflection about, what did I do? Was it too much? Cared too much? What's wrong with me? So let's go to the first thing, and it's like a mini bow, right? Like, it's like, you can literally do it. You can do it inside of you. And there's other words that can be used too, right? It just means like hello and welcome, right? Because so often that which we resist persists.
Mm-hmm.
That which you hate hates you back, right? So the energetic is, we know you do energy work. So we're just going to that sensation of rug pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome here. I receive you. And just go with that. And then I'm just going to go to the next one, and other things might happen. And hurt. You're welcome here. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Angry. You are welcome here. You're right. We don't like this. Just let that settle in. And then we'll go to the next one. My guess is it went up into mind, and mind's going, hey, this isn't fair. And we're just going to welcome that. Hey, this isn't fair. You're right. We don't like this. Just finding myself kind of rocking a little, right? Kind of like just from the soothing. And we're just going to slowly go to the next one. I don't want to rush this, but I also see the next one. So then there's that thought or that aspect that's concerned about, like, did I do something wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. So we're just going to bow to that, like that, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. You are welcome here. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, now we go to, you took it away. This opportunity to try to dialogue and sort it out, you didn't even give me that option. That was removed. And there's a dislike of that, understandably. So we're just gonna, again, you're welcome here. Hey, you took it away. And we just wanna agree, we don't like that, right? That aspect doesn't like it, and you're agreeing. It's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We don't like that, this taking away business. So as we meet that and accept that and leave room for that, the next one that comes up, I'm just tapping, because tapping helps sometimes. And I feel compelled to tap in the heart just because it's tender. So, then we go to, what did I do? So we're just going to do the same, like, what did I do? You're welcome here.
You are welcome here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then the variations of that, it's going through, right? This is the mind, and we want to bow to the mind, because the mind is such a powerful aspect, and it has that analytical ability and that scanning ability, right? So it's going, whoa, did I want too much? It's kind of calibrating. Did I care too much? It's calibrating. What's wrong? I think it's not what's wrong with it. I think it was what's wrong with me, if I remember right? Which is even more poignant and deep. So we've just gone dropped, like a really deep place, right, of analyzing the self and wrongness and badness to self. So just take a moment to, what's wrong with me? You are welcome here. That's a big one. So as you just do your best to just welcome it and meet it, there's layers and this moves, this consciousness moves and flows. So just see, it doesn't have to, but see what happens from here.
And the next one I hear is, why doesn't she love me?
Yep. That makes sense. So we're going to welcome that. Why doesn't she love me? And that sweet little part in there who's reading this is, she doesn't love me, and how come? We're just going to meet it. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Doing great. Just see what unfolds from here.
I mean, now it's playing our like memories of from our friendship from like the 8 years before, you know, like gifts that she gave me over the years, cards that she wrote to me over the years. You know, trying to reconcile the part of it that doesn't make sense with like how could it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So we're going to agree with that. We're going to welcome the memories, welcome the gifts, all that stuff that's flashing, like not making it wrong, that's popping up, welcoming it. You know, it's like, you're right. What about the gifts? What about the cards? Right? Trying to understand. Not making any of it wrong. Aspect that's trying to understand and is reviewing all those things. Trying to reconcile it. And that reconciliation, I didn't write it down, but it was taking you somewhere. Where did it take you?
Like, how can they both be true?
Yeah. Good. So just greet that. How can it both be true? The yes and, right? Like we so want either or. We'd like it to be simple like that. In a way, she may be going there. But for you, you've got both, and it's confusing. And life is confusing that way, where we can have yes and, right? And it's perplexing to be able to hold all of that dichotomy, that polarity. So how can it both be true? So we're just going to welcome that part that's confused, right? That's popping up going, how can it be this and this together? Does not compute. Just allow it some space and see what happens.
I don't know. I feel like there's like lots of different ways I could go next. I had the thought, well, maybe she was unhappy. Maybe she was annoyed. Maybe I annoyed her.
Good. So mind is just trying to
Yeah.
understand. So it's going unhappy, annoyed, right? It's just kind of running through the checklist. So to mind, I'm just going to draw a little head here because the head's doing its best to figure it out. And we don't want to make head wrong at all. But head only has a limited perspective, right? It's a kind of a one-trick pony. So it's running through its trick, and we want to thank it for doing its thing. Like it's like, okay, you're trying your best to figure this out and does not compute. Like, thank you, head. And the head, as my mentor with this always says, and I love it, mind or head has a heart. And just to recognize like, hey, thank you for being with me. You're a hell of a aspect of me. In some ways, you might be a coping mechanism, which a lot of us do, right? Especially in the West, like we just are kind of head centric. But underneath it, it's love. There's big love here. That mind that's doing its best to like then run through all the stuff and keeps coming up empty, right? We want to appreciate it for what it's doing, even though it can make us a little nuts when it just keeps running like a hamster wheel, right? It can be exhausting. So just bow to it. And recognize its heart, its love for you. And probably for her too, right? That's if it didn't love her, it wouldn't be trying to figure this out.
So much.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like the steam coming out trying to figure it out. Yeah. So that's big love. That's very sweet. And just see what happens as you bow to it and you acknowledge it and you recognize its love. See how it responds back or wherever wants to happen here. Sometimes too, this might be a constriction, right? Like it's stuck in here and this love's just trying to do it here. And so try to see if it wants to expand, if it's a little tight in there and it's like, hey, you know what? You don't have to stay in there. You can expand here. So just see if it responds to that idea about expanding. And if so, what it wants to do.
I mean, yes, what I first heard was like, yes, like we love her. You know, we can just go on doing that.
Okay, let's not rush. Let's just go there. That's beautiful. So it responded to that and it says, yes, we love her. So don't move anywhere except that. Meet that. Yes, we love her. Yeah. Just breathe into it. Whew. Yes, we love her. We agree. Yes, yes, yes. Just see where it went. If it went somewhere, just watch it and see what happened.
It's like that's all well and good from like a an expansive place. The hard thing is coming up against her, you know.
Okay. Okay, good. That's where it went next.
Yeah.
So I don't think it quite went to an expansive place yet, and that's okay. But
Okay.
we're going to follow where it went, where it went to. Wait a second. Now I have to be around this person, and I'm getting this energy, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it went from I love her to oh crap, I'm in this group with her and she's ignoring me,
Or
right?
like she
Or I'm in
walks
the
into my
building.
building.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah. Okay, just meet that, right? It's like, yes, you're right. You know, you're right. We love her, and now we have this dilemma.
yeah.
So just bow to that. You're right. We've got a dilemma, and that this isn't. We don't like this. It's uncomfortable, right? It's
Hmm.
whatever it is, and it could be all sorts of words. You tell me, right? But agree
It's
with it.
kind of scary.
Okay, okay. This is scary. It's kind of scary. Agree. Meet that. You're right. It's hostile.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't like hostile. We
It
don't like kind
really
of
hits
scary.
me. Yeah.
Agree with it. It's totally valid,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is kind of scary. And there's probably different sensations that happen in the body. And
Yeah.
you want to acknowledge that and agree with it. It's right. You're right. This is kind of scary. See what happens as you meet it and you agree.
And then the dilemma is like, well, I want to be loving and I want to be brave, but I don't want to be a fucking doormat.
Agreeable. Makes sense. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So we're going to agree with all of it. You're right. Yes, you're right. We want to agreeable. We want to figure it out, but we don't want to be a wuss. We don't want to be a doormat. You're right. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's accepting, loving. We don't like that. You're right. We don't want to be a doormat. You're right. And just see what happens as you authentically meet that.
So yeah, I don't know how to be.
Very good. It's right. It's right. I don't know how to be. Agree. We agree. I don't know how to be. You're right. And just see what happens from there. That honesty of it, I don't know how to be.
That brought some relief saying that.
Yeah, because we're conditioned a lot to have, especially with mind that does its thing, right? It likes to know, it likes to perform, right? And it's a challenge when we encounter stuff where we don't know how to be, where we don't know. It's a big thing to say, I don't know. So we're going to welcome the relief that comes from admitting, I don't know, and agree with it. And maybe even you don't have to know. It's okay. You don't need to know. let's go into the relief. Where did the relief show up in the body?
Oh, I think some of the like slightly panicky feeling in my chest just kind of relaxed.
Okay.
There was a specific moment a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't seen her in months, and I think I knew she was back in town, but I hadn't seen her. And I was just standing in the lobby looking at mail, and she entered the lobby,
And there she was.
yeah, and she said hi. She said that one syllable hi in like a pretty loud, kind of aggressive way, with what sort of seemed to me like a very disingenuous kind of big cheesy kind of expression, and then just sort of got into the elevator in a sort of slammy bangy way and was gone really fast. And
Okay.
it happened really fast.
So go ahead. Yeah.
So I describe it only because like that's all it was in like fact land, but energetically my body's kind of felt like it got hit by a truck.
Yeah. So I think what happened there was you encountered relief, and then the body brought up that memory. It was uncomfortable. Like,
Right.
remember that.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
that was, slam. So somehow it's dangerous to
Yeah.
relief. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to make anything wrong. We just agree. You're right. You're right. Like, don't let your guard down, because look what's going to happen. Right. So like, very wise. Got it, boss. You're right. Okay. Just reassuring it that just because we experience some relief and the chest starts to loosen up doesn't mean that you're gonna be unsafe, Yeah. Because it's like, don't let your guard down, watch out, danger.
Yeah.
So as you say that, you're right.
You're right.
We'll still have to keep an eye on things here. But just see if with that will allow a little room for relief, right? Knowing that you're still going to keep an eye on things. You're still going to, yeah. Because it's protection, right? So you just really want to bow to that aspect that wants to keep you safe, that wants to protect, and it thinks being on that guard like that and that tension in the body is the way to do it. But then that has other ramifications to walk around feeling like that all the time, right? So
Right. It wants to not be taken by surprise that way.
very good, very wise. So we'll say, like, yeah, you're right. It sucks to be taken by surprise. Yeah,
I mean, unless it's a nice surprise,
Right. That's kind of a shocking thing. You walk into the lobby and bammo, and then you're in this interaction. They're slamming elevator things. Yeah. Or fasten the elevator. So agreeing with it. Yeah, that's not fun. You're right. And just see what happens.
I'm thinking about moving out of my building.
Okay. Yeah. So it goes there. So that's the next thing. Move, I guess. Is that thinking about it? Is that, so that's like a question mark?
Yeah.
Should I move? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to meet that and bow to that inquiry. Like, should I move? Like, this is uncomfortable. This is scary. This is having to be on alert here. Maybe the option is to move. So we're just going to bow to it arising. It's not saying you're agreeing with it. We'll see as this plays out, right? But valid thing to be running through the mind and considering. Okay. See what happens as you make space for that.
I mean, that feels kind of exciting.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I didn't expect that. So we'll go, that's interesting. So we're just going to meet. What do you know? There's excitement and moving. Yeah. So you are welcome here, excitement. What a surprise. Trying to protect you from surprises. Now here's a surprise. Yeah. Just see what happens as you meet this different kind of surprise that actually has some exciting energy to it.
There's a little bit of defiance to it.
Okay, so
Like,
noticing.
well,
Yep.
fuck you. I'll just do this.
Okay, there we go. So, fuck you, you're welcome here.
I don't know. I just feel like my mind is doing a lot of like, well, maybe it was the kick in the butt you needed to like grow into the next. And I feel like that's really cerebral. You know what I mean?
That's okay. We'll just, thank you, mind.
Thank you, mind.
It's doing its analysis thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
running
I'm
it through its
justifying. Right,
filters.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's what minds do. So we're not gonna, don't make it wrong, right? But just like,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing, mind.
Yeah.
You're on the job. Thank you.
Good job, mind.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
And now I'm just kind of like in I mean, grief feels a little too strong of a word, but maybe it's not. I feel um like nostalgic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nostalgia, you are welcome here. Beautiful word, beautiful state.
I miss what it was once
Yeah.
upon a time.
Yeah, beautiful statement. Meeting that, agreeing with it. Yes, yes, yes. You are right.
Yes.
You are right. We do miss what it was once upon a time. And that kind of bittersweet feeling of nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just bringing up a lot of sadness again.
Yeah.
Just like goodbye to all of that.
Okay, welcome that. Welcome that, honey. Sadness and the goodbye. You're right, that is sad. Agreeing with the tears. Something might have cut out there, but go, if you can, back to the heart. I was just really aware myself of that sweet place in that heart.
Uh-huh.
Just like the mind has a heart, the heart has a mind. It's got a brain too, so, but it's got a different flavor than what goes on in the mind and the head. Let's see if the expansion opportunity might be here. Just allowing that to expand and unfurl if it cares to. Just letting it know it can do that if it likes.
It feels pretty clenched.
Yeah, okay. So that maybe not quite yet. So we'll go to the clench and we'll go, good idea. Wait a second, we don't want to get carried away and have this big open heart. Are you crazy? Yeah. So go, very wise, very wise. That clenching thing, okay, that's it was probably very wise. So clenched heart, you are welcome here. You're right, you're right. Loving yourself. Tricky business. Very vulnerable business. You're right.
It's just struck me how funny it is that it's like trying to expand but stay clenched to stay safe at the same time.
Appreciate the humorous dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sweet and poignant dilemma, right? Boy, talk about a human condition. Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. So this dichotomy, this polarity, we've got clench and open at the same time, that vacillating kind of back and forth. You are welcome here, polarity. Isn't that human?
Yeah.
We're here in this 3D plane and it's conditioning. It is tricky here in the 3D world with its polarities, right? And that the wanting to open and do the 5D and all that gorgeous energy, but 3D, wait a second, not safe to do that here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of starseed dilemma, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So just agree with it.
Yeah.
The ping ponging back and forth.
You're
5D,
right. This
3D,
is fucking
5D,
hard.
3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like it's like, this ascension stuff is tough. Yeah.
And it's like ironic because I have been feeling in general so happy and so expansive in general for like the past few months. And then the subject of her comes up and it's just like, you know, wham, like, whoa, where did it all go?
So agree with it that you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We've been generally very happy and expansive. Isn't that something in the midst of COVID and all this, right? So agree with it. Happy and expansive. And with this scenario and this person, the not so much, right?
Right.
Like a different energetic. So don't make
Like,
that wrong. Just agree.
right.
You're right. You're
You're
right.
right.
You're
You're
right.
right.
Overall, you know, we have been happy and expensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole 5D thing is newer's been trucking along beautifully here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Until
bam, hit this thing.
It's like I hit a big hole in the middle of the
3D
road.
anchor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just agree with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make you wrong, doesn't make you, you know, bad ascender or bad 5D aspirant, you know, you can do Bridget. So I'm throwing out Bridget terms. If they don't land,
I get it.
You know, you can change them to ones that are more relevant for you. But the
Heart is
point is,
feeling grateful.
yeah. Oh, sweet.
Grateful for the attention. Grateful for the
nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good sign. So, yay, heart, we agree. Just being with the grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Nice warm feeling in the heart responding with gratitude for the attention, the care. And the recognition of its dilemma, right?
Yeah. That like
Yeah,
it's a yeah.
it's clenched, it's open.
Right.
That's hard. And agreeing and like it's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
change. You
You
can
don't
close,
have to
you can
you don't have to let
open.
go. You
Yeah,
don't
that's
have to let
right.
go if you're not ready to yet. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
exactly. Yeah.
It's like good. All right.
Yeah. We love you. Be how you are. Yeah, good. And that gave it relief or something. So you
Yeah.
tell me what it did, but it sounded like something shifted there.
Well, like after you've had a fist clenched for a really long time, when you give it the mental directive to unclench, it doesn't right away. It takes a while.
Yeah, kind of that crampy feeling and everything,
Yeah.
right? For again, constriction and
Yes. Yes.
restriction. So just agree with it. You're right. You're right. It's like uncomfortable when you start to release that, and it's still kind of crampy and stuff.
Yeah.
That's okay. You're right. That's very accurate. No rush. Take your time, heart.
Something about how to meet the new moments in a new way,
Okay, good.
like without carrying that history into it.
So it's giving you a whiff of something.
Yeah.
It's giving you like without the history, without the story, without the narrative, right?
Like
Dropping
what
that.
would that be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it gave you a whiff of it. So thank it. Like bow to that. Like, whoa, thank you. You just gave me the whiff of it.
Mm-hmm.
And also the not knowing, right?
Yeah.
That's unfamiliar territory, and that's okay. This is this is new ground, new way of being.
Again, mind is like, maybe this is a gift. Maybe there's something amazing on the other side of this. And you never could have imagined it if this hadn't happened.
So just agree with mind. Thank you, mind, for
Thank you,
sharing.
mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you're right.
It's got a valid from it.
Yeah.
It's valid from its perspective. It's like you're right. Yes, Anne. There's other
Yes, yeah.
perspectives too, but it's like yes, you got it, mind, for sure. Was there like poo-pooing going on about the mind? Because what the mind brought forward was actually quite beautiful,
I
right?
know,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
was a little bit just because, yes, I noticed that in myself
yeah.
too.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So we want to make sure to really bow to that sweet stuff that mind brought up, and then whatever whooshed in there and kind of kiboshed it a bit.
It was me, which is probably another part of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It, I can prematurely try to rationalize myself out of pain with ideas like that.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So there was a recognition of a like bypassing, right? Or
Yes, potential,
disassociation,
possible.
that kind of
Yes.
stuff, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
careful here. We might be entering disassociation, spiritual
Right.
bypass
Exactly. Yeah.
territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's bow to that.
Yeah.
Going, thank you. Because we wouldn't want to do that. It's right.
Right.
Valid point.
We just don't know.
Yeah,
We just don't know.
yeah. Back to that. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. It's okay. We just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't know how it's going to unfold. That's hard. That's a dilemma for us humans. So you're right. And we don't especially like it. You're right. Like we like to have clarity and
Right.
validity and
And like
defined and yes and no, black and white.
I'm recognizing that one of the things about it that's particularly challenging for me is that I'm such a doer, I'm such a fixer. If
Mm-hmm.
if I ever feel
Mm-hmm.
like something's wrong in a relationship, I want to fix it. I want to do whatever it takes to fix it.
Yep.
And in this scenario, I don't feel like there's anything I can do.
Yeah. And it's hard. So just that doer, bow to the
Yeah.
doer. Because that's a great aspect. And there's a lot of places in life, me being a big doer myself, I can relate to that. So just bow to the doer and say, like, you're right. And thank you. This is not a doing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really hard for you, doer. I get it. You like to do.
Yeah.
I wish it was something I could hand over for you to do,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
not.
Not this
And,
time.
it's like pout,
I think that's a little bit of how we got here in the first place. Like,
and
it
that's
was me
okay.
trying to, yeah.
And that's okay. That's understandable. We want to thank it. That's a wonderful aspect of self, that doing ability. You want to thank it, and all the time, just like mind, right? The do works
Yeah.
so hard for you. You want to appreciate it. And that when it encounters, like it does in this scenario, when it counters something where it can't do, it goes a little cuckoo.
Yeah. Keeps trying to think of, well, what if I try this? What if I try this?
Yep. Yep. Mind and doing, they're very good partners, right? And they get us through a lot of stuff. And so we just want to say, we're right. We tried all the combinations.
Yeah.
We still just kind of came out, does not add up, does not compute, because this is a being thing.
Yeah.
This is remaining in the unknown. This is ambiguity. This is lack of control. Yeah. All tough stuff. Really tough stuff. Oh, yeah. So compassion.
Just the word surrender is all I got right now.
Yeah, that's appropriate. So you're right. You're right. It comes down to surrender. Wave the white flag.
Yeah.
To those aspects of self, to her. Yeah, there's the white flag. I give.
I just had the image of me like having a little one ready in my purse just in case I see her. I just wait.
Yeah. You could have a figurative one or a literal one.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Here's my white flag. So, so just agree with that. Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. Little white flag in the purse. We could all use one of those. Collective one of those right now in the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I should market them and
Yeah.
sell them.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. There's a business idea. Good. Good. The doer is on it. Yeah. Love it. Yes, yes, yes. You're right, doer. Like my friend Leslie, who's a clothing designer. So she's moved into making masks, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
you adapt. So gotta appreciate the entrepreneur in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The adaptable one who's like, might be a business in white flags.
Right.
There's a need for that right now. I agree with it. You're right.
I'm just glad to be like, I'm grateful for the humor.
Yes, yes. Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Let's appreciate and bow to humor. Yes, yes, yes to humor.
Yes.
And knowing it can continue to unfold as much as it would like to, but let's just see while I'm here taking notes if there's anything else that wants to get on the board. As it has brought you beautifully to surrender and white flag and humor.
I just feel like I need to express the serendipity of getting your email or getting your assistant's email saying that you were offering these, because this was just such a sticky thing for me that I've been struggling with for the past few months. And I just was thinking, I need help with this one. I just, yeah.
So we'll bow to the synchronicity.
Yeah.
And I bow to it too, because I have a similar thing I've recently gone through and been doing a lot of processing. So I chuckled to myself when I saw what you had put in your, what do you want to process on? Of course you do. How perfect is that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will stay up at 8 o'clock and do that. Perfect.
I know.
And
I thought even
you
for
at
you,
11.
kind of late,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I
was like, well, it's available in the
special
calendar,
energy.
so I'm gonna nab it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. So we're gonna bow to that perfection, right? Of
Yeah.
slipping in, and there happening to be a vacancy right there in the schedule. Bingo bango, you get in here. And I don't know what's going on for you, but my heart is all warm. So
Mine's really warm.
I bow to the synchronicity and to the perfectness of this lining up, and I thank it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good for both of us. Hopefully good for others who are parallel processing, because in our world, this is things that happen. You've got it a little unusual in that you actually have some of the in-person. A lot of this happens all, virtual, right? Where there's blockings and
Right. You're right.
stuff. And so it's interesting having it really up front with the in-person. Yeah. Even more poignant. Both of them are hard, but yeah. Just see it inside. We're just bowing. See if they're bowing back. Are they complete? Anything else they want to say at this point in time? Or
I mean, nobody in there really knows what to say right now.
Yeah.
Other than just gratitude,
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So gratitude back, and they don't have to say anything because it's a being thing. Yeah. And all sorts of beautiful things have been said and expressed. So we just come to that feeling at the end of all that expression and processing and letting it flow, right? And meeting it. As we meet it, it unfolds to where it needs to go. The intelligence, right? The brilliance of consciousness. If left to its own devices to be seen and felt, it'll naturally shift. So we're just in gratitude to its flow, into its naturalness.
Yeah, I just got the message like we're working on it. Like we're
Yeah.
yeah.
And thank you for working on it. Yeah. Thank you for doing the inner work. That's what we need, individually and collectively working on it.
Just have the metaphor in my mind of like I've been doing a lot of physical workouts lately, and I've really had to learn I have a hip injury that I've been dealing with, that's been recurring a little bit. And so I've had to make like my rest and recovery, at even more important than the exercise parts,
Good. That's the right brain has just communicated something in left brain language, and it's just telling you this is rest and recovery. So along with the surrender and the gratitude, and that is like just a recognition of, hey, rest and recovery. Good summation, consciousness. Thank you. Good metaphor, right? To tie it to what's going out, because that is such a metaphor with working out. It's kind of like a breakdown, right? It happens with muscles and everything, and you have to give them time to come back.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you can really muck some things up, right?
Yeah.
So everything needs its time. The importance of rest and recovery.
And that should'er in the brain of like, I should be able to overcome this. I should be able to
muscle through, push through, no pain, no
emotionally
gain.
rise above it, etc. And that just wasn't working.
Yeah. And it's just telling you it's okay to rest, because this has been a big thing, and it's going to take some recovery. So it's okay to rest and recover.
Yeah.
Don't have to jump into anything with her or anything in friendship in general, or try to whatever. It's just, nope, just surrender. And allow the rest and recovery and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Being, not doing. Yeah.
Come here. Yeah.
White flagging it.
Yeah.
I will take these notes up to the next level and send it to you tomorrow morning.
Oh, thank you.
And just as we kind of are still in the energy of the inquiry, right? You can speak from that place, or as you pull your consciousness kind of back to the journey we just went on, anything either aspects of the consciousness wants to say, or doesn't have to, since we're so much in being, not doing right now. But I just want to check any kind of closing quote. And all I mean by that, you don't have to quote anybody, but often at the end of my sessions, this is like, who are you now? How are you now? Right? We come in, something unfolds, and then we close. So any kind of closing comment or statement.
It feels like before the spring, like, good things will come, but they're not quite visible yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, underneath the ground, hasn't popped up yet.
There's a sense of barrenness at the moment, but it won't last forever.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Bowing to that. Barrenness won't last forever. Mm-hmm. Yay. Yes. Yeah. We like that. Thank goodness that spring comes.
Yeah.
Winter doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
Yay to seasons.
And a sense of space.
Nice. Welcoming space. There's our expansion. Space. Yes to space. It's the perfect place to stop. And you can move from this into your night in spaciousness.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure, Carey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for offering this. What a gift.
Thank you. A gift for me too.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Perfect.
I love you.